Oh, hey, what's going on, folks? All right, man. So I'm gonna make this tutorial. I know there's a lot of YouTube tutorials out there that normally you see words on the screen, and they go through all of these bullet points and blah 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 blah. But y'all know that's not my style. I'm more personable. I like talking to y'all, and I like doing shit as I'm talking to y'all. So here we go. Now, with Shin, easily one of my favorite people in the game to play as. I love bow and arrows. This guy's a beast, but he can be tricky to learn with his passive. And his passive is the most important thing about him, because if you do not use it, you will get your ass kicked every time. And the reason why you will get your ass kicked every time is because
if you can predict the enemy's
I'm gonna show you.
You won't be defeated.
All right, so notice the damage I'm doing, right?
I go wherever the wind takes me.
All right. Now notice this damage.
A good army should be
okay.
Like
look. So let's get into it. First, Shin's passive. I can't read that. That shit is small as hell. Basically, what that says, this isn't verbatim, but this is how his passive works. Every single time Shin goes from his sword to his bow and arrow, it will become a critical strike. So, sword or glaive,
and homeland.
bow and arrow, glaive, bow and arrow, glaive, bow and arrow. You do not want to be doing this with Shin. Or even this.
My reputation is built on my bravery and loyalty. Legendary. Our victory will be decisive. Legendary. Double kill. Only by facing the enemy can one know his true self.
You see how long that's taking me to kill them? Look at that. And if you've been playing Shin and you've been doing this, and you wonder why you can't kill nobody, that's why. You never want to do that. You never want to, if you hit somebody with his sword up close, then your next attack, you need to either be hitting them with your second skill, or you need to get out of range and switch to your bow and arrow. Now, you see how long it took me just to kill them, what, 3 layers, whatever it was? Now, look how quick it's going to take me once I do his passive. Well.
You can predict legendary. You won't be defeated. Double kill. Triple kill. Maniac. Savage.
Much faster. It is tricky because you gotta know, oh, what's out of range, what's not in range. That comes with time, honestly, because I had to figure that out myself.
Duty, honor. Legendary. Double kill. Triple kill. Maniac. Savage.
All right, so that's his passive. Also,
victory will be decisive.
His second part of his passive goes into his first skill, which is, this is his first skill. It's a dash. Every time he dashes towards someone, he will do physical damage to them. Like so.
I go wherever the
It's not
wind
much,
takes me.
but it is enough to finish someone off if they're low on health. See? It's not a lot. Just
A good
enough.
army should be flexible, like water.
It's really good at a finishing blow. See if I can do a finishing blow.
Stay loyal, stay humble. My reputation is
Legendary.
bravery and loyalty.
Alright. But his passive, now watch. See that? Now watch when I do his passive.
Good army should be
Legendary.
like water.
You notice anything about his first skill? Every single time his passive is activated, his first skill gets a cooldown.
Our victory will be decisive.
Legendary.
You know what that means?
Double kill.
True warrior never back down.
Triple kill. Maniac. Savage.
A good army should be
Savage.
flexible, like water.
Savage. Savage.
Our victory will be decisive.
Savage.
This right here, every time his passive is activated, it will always
If you can predict the
reduce
enemy's
the
moves,
cooldown
you
of his
won't be
first skill.
defeated.
His second skill is a two-part attack. I say a two-part attack. It's like a it's
go
I say
wherever
it's a
the
two-part
wind
attack. I just say
takes me.
two-part. When you're up close and you just tap, then it's a close strike with his glaive or sword. But when you're long range, if you hold
True
it down,
warrior never backs
he
down
starts
from
to
a
gather
fight.
an arrow. Release it. That's where the marksman part comes in at. Also because he's essentially an assassin with range.
Stay
Because
loyal.
of his damn passive.
Stay loyal.
He can murder you from range, you know. And his ultimate, of course, is
Only
this.
by facing down the fire.
Yeah, see, I got Veil up there. I wanted to whoop Veil's ass. I hate Veil so much. I'm gonna do no
If you
cooldown.
can predict the enemy's moves, you won't be defeated.
I watch this.
Rain down the fire.
This is what it looks like when he does his ultimate.
A true
And he
warrior
hits
never backs
everyone
down from a fight.
on the enemy team, or at least in their direction.
Rain down the fire.
See that?
Legendary. Maniac. Savage.
That's really useful because not only does it tell it, so on the map,
Stay
as you can
loyal.
see, y'all didn't know Veil was up there until I did my ultimate. But it lets you know, oh, where they are. So if anyone's hiding in the bushes or if they're camping, which a lot of people
I
do
go
because y'all play
wherever
like
the
hoes,
wind takes me.
it reveals these campers to y'all and to you and your teammates. It gives you vision. How Tank's supposed to give everyone vision. Shin gives you a vision with his ultimate.
Duty,
But
honor,
the cool
and
thing about his ultimate is you'll get kills with his ultimate. Is if y'all seen the Granger thing, or if y'all seen any of my Shin videos, you see me literally get like
victory will be
double
decisive.
kills from his ultimate because somebody can be low on health and his ultimate don't do much damage, but it does just enough. And if
true
they are
warrior
taking
never
lore
backs
or if they're
down from a
taking
fight.
their buffs or whatever, if they're standing beside those things and you last hit the Lord or whatever with your ultimate, guess what? You took the Lord and you're nowhere near Lord.
Stay
It's
loyal.
pretty cool. I've
Stay
done so
humble.
many things with his ultimate, if timed right. And sometimes you're just lucky, honestly. The thing I was just on is his boat.
Duty, honor,
And I
and
don't
homeland.
think I can go get it back. Can I? Oh, damn. Well, I was on his boat. That thing right there was his boat. of course, he's much faster because he's on the
Our
damn boat.
victory will be decisive.
When on his boat, all of his skills are exactly the same except his first. When on his boat, he throws his boat at you, and
I
whoever
go
he
wherever
hits
the
with his
wind
boat
takes
is now stunned for like 2 seconds, I think. When they're stunned, turtle ship. Oh, it's almost back.
If you can predict the
Turtle
enemy's
ship.
moves, you won't be defeated.
He does his first skill. He hits someone, they get stunned for like a second or two, and then you can combo that with
Stay loyal.
with other stuff.
Stay humble.
It's pretty cool. But that's just a way to get around the map pretty quickly. But that right there, what I'm doing now,
Never backs
you don't
down
want
from
to do
a
that.
fight.
You don't want to go range, close, range. You want to go
If you can predict
close,
the enemy's moves,
range,
you won't be
close,
defeated.
range, or I'm saying it backwards.
Legendary.
All right, range, close, range,
Only
close,
by facing the
range.
enemy
It
can
took
one
only
know his
4
true
hits
self.
to kill Layla without my second skill. Now, when I do like this,
A true warrior
see what I mean?
never
It
backs
takes
down
longer.
from a fight.
So you want to always be switching between the two
Legendary.
because it's just way shorter.
Double kill.
And when you add in his second skill, that's when the fun comes in. The reason why that is because no matter what, once you use his second skill, his critical strikes gets reset. So
If you can
not a
predict the
critical. I'm not
enemy's
critical
moves,
striking right
you
now.
won't be defeated.
Now I got a critical strike because I just used my second skill. So if I mess up, I do that and I got a critical strike again. See what I'm saying?
Legendary.
Bravery and
I'm gonna
loyalty.
go 1. Nope. That's not a critical. Okay, but I'm still
True
close.
warrior never backs
Second
down from a
skill.
fight.
Now I got critical again. It's because after you use his second skill, his critical strike gets reset.
Armor should be flexible.
Legendary. Double kill. Maniac.
In games when I'm able to spam my first skill
Stay loyal.
between my second skill
Stay
and use his passive are the games that I dominate the most because there is nobody that does as much damage as this dude than maybe Karina when he's just spamming these attacks because one, you can't hit him, you
Duty,
can't stun him
honor,
because he's just
and
spamming his
homeland.
first skill all the time and his passive. And he's just think about it, this is a person that's constantly hitting you with critical strikes. You know how on items,
True warrior never backs down
marksmen
from a fight.
get critical strikes all the time, but that's like by luck. Well, with this dude, you get critical strikes because you want to, so it's like all the time critical strikes. And that's why I like him so much. Also, he takes a lot of skill to play. Unlike other assassins in the game that are just strong as hell for no reason.
Ravage.
It's annoying, man. But it's also good for
Duty,
dancing people
honor,
like
and homeland.
dodging people like Lancelot. Or, any of the CC skills you might come into. So this is how I typically how you want to
I go
jungle with
wherever
him.
the wind
You don't want to do this, like I said. You don't want to do that. It takes longer. So anytime the jungle monster goes to hit you, he's pausing,
If you
right?
can predict
So,
the enemy's
bam,
moves,
this is how it's
you
moved.
won't be defeated.
Now I got my range. And bam, jungle monster dead.
Only by facing the enemy can
But
one
you can
know his
always
true
tell.
self.
You hear that?
A true warrior
it-
never
it-
backs
it-
down from a fight.
It's basically like I'm doing nothing to this turtle, and you can hear it. Second skill. See, now I got my critical strike. For 2 hits, you'll have your critical strike after you do your second skill. And that's anything. You get up to 2 critical strikes after that third one, you're back to this normal basic attack. And it's taking me so long to kill this turtle. So watch this.
Duty,
And when I do his
honor,
passive,
and
the
homeland.
close range, the range close passive, watch how fast I kill the turtle. So I did that much damage, and now let's just let him get himself back, and just not do his passive.
A good army should be flexible. Like
I'll be here all day, all day, or even just doing this.
our victory will be decisive.
It's taking longer.
Only by facing
By the time somebody came and killed me
the truth.
and got the turtle, so you want to definitely just be doing this. Look how much better that is.
Ally has slain the turtle.
Same thing with Lord.
Rain down the fire.
Lord, same way. People don't know, man. Yi Shin can actually kill the Lord really quickly.
Loyal.
See, finish my build in a second. That's the reason why. It's really good for dodging that. So I don't want to kill him because I don't know if it's going to end the tutorial or not. I mean, end the practice or not. Because he might come and attack their base, and then that'll be the end of that. So here's my build and what I typically use.
good army
And
should be
it's situational, honestly. But
Like water.
this is what I'm going with so far. I've changed this so many times, but this is what's been working for me lately. So, you know. All right. So tough boots. Tough boots goes well with his first skill. As in his first skill, if it immunes him from CC for 1 second. So this gives you less time control. Perfect. War Axe. War Axe works great with him now because he get his physical stacks and his movement speed versus when he was a marksman assassin, he can only get like 33%. Now War Axe is good for him because he's an assassin marksman now. So he's actually classified as an assassin first, so he can actually get the full effects of War Axe. And I must say, late game, or when he just started to get War Axe, he starts to become beastly. But you know, of course, basically the longer the battle goes, War Axe gets better because the stats constantly stack up. Endless Battle, you got your everything right here. It's really good because you get your physical attack, the mana regen, you get a little bit more health, the 10% cooldown reduction, and the physical lifesteal and the movement speed is why I like Endless Battle. Endless Battle is probably a go-to for a lot of core heroes because Yi Shin, another thing I didn't tell y'all, on his passive, when he switches between range attack and close attack. So say if you're like right in front of somebody, you hit them with a close basic attack, you go out, you get a movement speed boost in that moment. And that's to honestly help you get away from your target. So you do get a movement speed bonus. So that's really good for that. Plus the 10% cooldown reduction to help when you're doing your passive. You can just hopefully keep spamming your first skill. Now, Blade of Despair. This is a given. This is like this is the item that gives you the most physical attack in the game. Like this is a given. Malefic Roar, physical penetration. It's really good for him, especially on his ranged attacks or anyone who has high physical defense or armor or anything like that. Malefic Roar is good. And Immortality, I got Immortality on. I mean, you can do any defensive item. Breastplate, Winter Truncheon is down here because in case you're facing someone like a Hayabusa that's kind of just ulting you all the time, if you're able to just freeze yourself, then guess what? His ult can't do anything to you. At least it'll buy you some time, hopefully, or if you're in a tough situation. And I mean, you got Queen's Wings, more like whatever defensive item. I typically do attack, and then like one defensive item just because you don't want him to just be like super squishy. Unless you just think that, hey, I need more attack or firepower, then I guess you can just put another attack item on him. But honestly, 4 should be enough. And while you're doing his passive, these 4, I mean, honestly, he's gonna be beastly, so you won't need a 5th. But if you want to, I guess you can. It just depends on how you want to play. Hell, sometimes I do it. It just depends. It all depends. What you do not want to do, since he is an assassin now, you do not want to buy Wind of Nature. Wind of Nature does nothing for him. I mean, it only gives him like immunity for, it's less than whatever the marksmen get normally. So don't do Wind of Nature. But yeah, that's gonna be it on his passive and my explanation on the passive. I hope it was helpful. If not, ask questions in the comments. Just go out and practice him, man. He's once you get into a rhythm, it's pretty simple to use, honestly, but it does take a while because it took me getting my ass kicked a few games to really learn him. But once you learn him, he's pretty nice, and then you'll learn how to dodge CC skills. You'll learn how to dodge people like Lancelot, and fight with him. It's not always going to be easy because some Lancelots are ridiculous because Lancelot is a broken ass hero. But you'll learn a little bit better how to deal with certain assassins or certain heroes as you go against them.
They switching sides on us. Yeah. Hey, we took an oath. They scared of the goat. They moved out of town on us.